Alright, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. My name's Nick and this is Northwest Auto Adventures. So we are back with the 2010 Prius again. So if you've seen this has been here a few times. I've done a couple episodes with this guy. Customer brought it back for some repairs. At this point, they've got some warning lights coming on. So ABS, traction control, and the brake light all popping on. It's coming on and off. This is a pretty common problem I see with really a lot of cars. They have a few things that are connected, if you will. So they're connected. So there's a few things they have in common. That's the word I'm looking for. So we'll get into that today. But yeah, we're gonna do a little diagnosis on this bad boy. So I figured I'd take you along for the ride. So we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna do, last time we were here with this, we had the detail done. We've done a bunch of maintenance on this thing previously. It's due for another oil change, so we're gonna do the oil change. You can see the lights aren't on right now. So, but I'm pretty positive if I drive it, they'll come on. Pretty common fault. So if you think about it, traction control, speed control, brakes, brake system, all that stuff, ABS, all has one common component between all of them. And I think you'll find that is probably what we've got going on here. So we got the old scan tool out. We're gonna hit up the system here, do a little bit of check-in. So first and foremost, I've already got it connected, hooked up to the car. Hopefully you can see here. Make sure you can see here. So I've already got it connected, hooked up to the car. So we're gonna go into ABS traction control, check this out. Yeah, we know that. And we're gonna check for codes first and foremost. So typically what I see with these guys is we've got some sort of speed sensor fault. Typically that's what's going on. So we'll go into fault codes. And would you look at that? Sure enough. And it is current. So we're gonna go down there and physically inspect that, but real quick, I'm gonna go take it for a drive. She actually did mention that the car will accelerate slightly. She said it feels like it accelerates when she hits the brakes. So that's kind of an odd one. I'm hoping that's just a weird side effect of the speed sensor fault, but we're gonna go find out. So we're gonna go back here. I'm not gonna clear this or anything. I'm just gonna go back and we're gonna actually look at the data stream. And we're gonna go drive this thing, see if we can confirm that we have a funky or a malfunctioning wheel speed sensor. So front left wheel speed. Where's my front right wheel speed? And find my rear wheel speed here. Rear left wheel speed. And right rear wheel speed. Okay, so we got all those guys connected, or selected I should say. Okay, so at this point we should be able to drive this thing, and what we're looking for is, this is our front left, front right, right left, or rear left, rear right. And we're actually looking to see the, oops, I forgot this thing's touchscreen over there. We're looking to see these values all be pretty equal and or change. And so that should give us an indication that we've got functionality on all these guys. Hey, how dare you? There we go. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and hook you up and let you watch, and we'll take this thing out and drive it. So I'm gonna put my seatbelt on. I'm gonna take this thing for a quick spinner-rooney-dooney. And then we're gonna end up doing an oil change, cabin filter, a couple other things. As you can see, the oil maintenance light is on, so. Don't run the ball. See if we hear. I think this thing might, I think this thing might actually have a bad wheel bearing or something like that. So we're just gonna whip up the street here. Oh yeah, okay, so you can already see, we can see some movement. Oh, and the right rear, again, if you recall, is our sus sensor. So we'll see if it quits on us. I'm gonna let you guys watch here. You guys tell me if you see that data drop out. Definitely in eco mode, holy moly. And it's a current code, so that right rear. So far, you know, coming to a good solid 0. We might not be going fast enough to get it to that bad. It's definitely showing way less data. Like way slower response. But we are cruising for 25, 28. Still not really seeing. I'm not getting the lights to come on. I'm sure they'll come on though. Nice to confirm. Yeah, I'm not really confirming the acceleration on braking, interestingly enough. We'll go a little bit faster here and see if we can get this thing set off. A little birdie. A little baby hawk? Not sure what that was. Alright. Definitely sounds like we got a wheel bearing bad. I don't know if you can hear that humming. Data looks okay. 42 miles an hour, 44 miles an hour, it's not much off. But it definitely sounds like that's some light drumming. I think that's from the rear. So usually if you load the car back and forth, you can kind of get it to make noise. Hopefully that's not a police officer behind me. I can't tell. I think it's just a truck, but yeah, usually if you load the car up left or right, like kind of lean the car to one side or the other, shift the weight, you can get, no, but there's nobody out here. You can get the weight to shift, and it will actually load up the wheel bearing differently and give you the sounds we're looking for. But we're gonna, he's doing the same thing I am. All right, oh my God, this thing is in eco mode and it's so slow. Put them in eco mode. You got power mode, these things actually got some go. They'll get up and go. Okay, let's get back down here. I suspect we have a bad wheel bearing. Bad rear wheel bearing. If you can hear that. Ooh, yeah. Hear it? We're only going 50, 55, so I suspect if we go faster, it's going to sound even louder. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sounds like right rear. Okay, so I suspect we have actually a faulty rear wheel bearing that's causing the noise. So we're gonna pull this thing in, lift up the back end, probably get it on all four off the ground, and check that rear wheel bearing, because it definitely. I kind of thought there were some wheel bearing noises the first time I drove this thing, but again, I'm not trying to bombard somebody with a whole bunch of things this thing needs at once, right? So again, and plus it's got 191, so it's kind of like you get a lot of miles on those wheel bearings. So I'm not supremely surprised if it would have wheel bearing noise, but the Priuses do eventually wear out the rear wheel bearings. They wear out all the wheel bearings. My buddy has one that we've done a ton of work on. You've probably seen some other videos of that. And we did, if you watch my other videos, we did front and rear wheel bearings on his. It was a long haul. It was a lot of work, but yeah, it's pretty common with these guys. A lot of miles, that's what'll happen. Okay, so yeah, let's get this thing lifted up. Let's get this thing lifted up and we'll have a look-see. I didn't see anything. Data didn't look sus or anything, man. You cannot see that. The data did not look sus or anything like that, so. It did look like the right rear was a little bit slower to respond than the other ones. So we're gonna go ahead and jump out and check out that rear wheel bearing, just based on, again, the code being only that rear one, and the fact that we've got a lot of noise from the rear. So we'll check the suspension, check the wiring, make sure everything looks good, and yeah, so I'll come right back to you here in just a moment. Okay, we're back. Okay, so I went ahead and jacked up the car. As you can see, we got both ends up. So yeah, nothing seems loose, but if you give it a good spin, you can hear this. Let's see if we can catch it. Or should that be the clickety click of the wheel bearings? Sounds pretty bad. It's not supposed to have that clicking noise. You can hear the brakes dragging a little bit, though. This is pretty normal. That clickety, though, that's worse, and I think that's a bad wheel bearing for sure. Oh yeah, the other side will do it too, but not quite as bad. Oh shit, the other side's on the ground. Ah, that's funny. Okay. Okay, cancel that. Okay. Yeah, we'll have to lift the other end off a little bit. But the other side does do that, it's just not quite as loud. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my mat and we're gonna take a look under there real quick. Okay, so I went and took a look underneath there. Almost immediately figured out what's causing the light to come on. So yeah, we'll pull I pulled the lug nuts off and pull the wheel off, and I'll show you exactly what's wrong with this scenario here. So we'll see. Oh yeah, it's not very stuck on there. Give it a good knock. Ooh, that weighs like nothing. That's crazy. Okay, so I'll check the wheel out here in a minute, but I'm pretty positive the wheel's probably gonna be just fine. Okay. So, do a quick brake inspection. Your brakes look fine, nice and thick. So don't think the brakes would be what's causing that noise. Although I can definitely pop the caliper off just to be sure that's not causing our noise, but they look fine. So, let's see, I wonder what could be wrong with this scenario. So, wheel speed sensor, right there. Let's follow the wiring along, see if we're, oh, whoa! Well, hello, Clarice. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I am shocked that it even works. And look at how taut that is right there. Like that's doing, like that is doing, 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 doing. Like this got yanked so hard at some point that it quite literally pulled the wiring really hard this way, and then it just caused a kink right there, and that kink's worn through over time. So if we look at the other side, way back there, you can see how taut this one is. Boink. And you can see right here, wheel damage. Somebody hit this wheel really hard. I imagine they probably had these wheel bearings replaced under warranty at some point, or by a body shop when they got this thing hit or something. Somebody did. But you can see on this side, see how much play is in that. Oh, and you can see the wheel. This side too makes noise. I'm fairly confident that's just the brakes. Brake pads touching. But given the noisiness of these bearings, I'm pretty sure we're gonna replace both of them as well. Okay, so Again, just to give you an example here. Look at how loosey-goosey that is. And that's full suspension travel. Well, that's as far as this suspension will move. And look at how loose that is. All right. Nice intact cable all the way. Versus this guy, he's just taut. Doink. Yeah, so this suspension got yanked at some point. It doesn't look bent per se. That's what I was kind of worried about. It's like, I wonder if I'd be curious to see if there's a difference in the ride height, to whether this axle is damaged or tweaked. But yeah, so far it doesn't look like it. But yeah, that's definitely a problem. So I'm wondering if they ever had this wheel bearing replaced. As it is. So I'm gonna tell her, hey, you know, we can do, ooh, damn, how do we even do this wheel bearing? Oh, that's wild. I think I have to take the whole knuckle, disconnect the whole knuckle from the whole knuckle from this thing to do that. Oh yeah, you can see the wheel rub marks where it fully hammed the wheel up against this. Interesting. So you take the brakes apart, probably unbolt this whole thing from the inside, it looks like. Yep, so from the inside behind the hub. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna tell you, that's definitely the problem there, is that got yanked super hard. Wow, and then this is all mangled too. This whole thing has been walked over really hard. Oh, damn. Yeah, so we're gonna have to get in there and replace that whole sensor at the very least. But yeah, these wheel bearings need to be done. So I'm gonna look into that, and we'll circle back, probably do the whole wheel bearings. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Probably gonna call this diagnosed for now. I'm gonna recommend the wheel bearing, the wheel bearings and the wheel speed sensor, see what she wants to do, and then we'll go from there. If I do the wheel bearings, this is gonna be a whole nother separate video. Feel free to check that out as well, and I'll leave a link in the comments. Actually, I'll probably link it right here for you guys. So feel free to check that out if you're experiencing a wheel bearing issue and you're doing that. Oh yeah, look at this. Yeah, this has all been hammed up. Like, this thing got hammered at some point. Huh. Okay, cool. So yeah, I will, at the very least, if we end up doing just a wheel bear or just a wheel speed sensor, we'll get right back to you and we'll finish that out. Either way, we'll wrap this up here in just a moment, and the conclusion is to come here in just a second. Thanks for joining us. All right, we're back. We went and got parts from Napa, came back and gathered up a few tools, taking a look at this stuff, and yeah, customer decided they wanted to do both wheel bearings, and we're gonna do the wire harness, and yeah, we're gonna do it, and then we're gonna do the rest of everything else maintenance wise, just do the oil changes and all that stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining me again. Thanks for sticking in there. We're gonna be taking this whole set apart, so if you're looking at doing this yourself, this would be a pretty good walkthrough on how to do that. First and foremost, we're gonna be taking the caliper off, so we're gonna take these two bolts out. There's one here, one down further. We're gonna take those guys off. You don't really need to take all this apart necessarily, just slide this whole assembly up and off there, and we're gonna hang it to the side. Voila, why do any more work than we need to? Take the rotor off, and then we're gonna unplug this guy, and then once you get the rotor off, there are 4 bolts on the inside that actually unbolt the hub. So, yep, and then the biggest part, I think, challenge-wise, is gonna be getting to the other end of this, because the other end, as you can see, goes inside the car, so we're gonna have to take some paneling apart inside to get to it. But yeah, so if you're just tuning into this part, haven't seen this yet, you missed it, that's what we're replacing this for. And then these wheel bearings are pretty tired too, so we're doing those as well. And thanks for running. So let's get right to it. So it turns out there's a plastic cage on here you have to get off of here to even get to the connector. Kind of crazy. And we're not reusing this, so I'm taking this off. Set him to the side. Okie dokie. So now the actual connector we can get at, and then we're just gonna find. Here it is. I think it's on the bottom on this one. The push tab. I'm gonna get that off of there. It appears to be on the bottom. I'm not sure I'm pushing that up. Okay, yep, so it's up here. So it is probably that guy at the very end there. Just stubborn stuff to get off of there. So push it in a little bit first. A lot of times it helps. There you go. I just wasn't squeezing hard enough. There you go. Okay. So dismount it all so sheesh. Definitely not supposed to be get like that. Oh, jeez. Somebody built this thing all up. Alright. That's gotta come off. We have to get a 10mm to pull this guy off so we can clean him up, because that is terrible. Angle. See what we can do to fix it. Doodly doodly. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Alright, I'm gonna go grab tools and we'll be right back. Cool. I think it's mangled. Alright. So now we need to gain access to the inside to where this comes out. So we can unplug it from the inside. Okay, clean hands. I'm gonna get over here. This side. And I think all we have to do is get just right up in here, not very far. Okay, so the connector is right there. That white connector right there, that's where you're disconnecting it from. The hole's right down in there. So you just pry this up a little bit, tickle that out. And there you are. Now we can pull this sucker back out of there. Voila. Removal. That was the old. And we got a nice little slack now. And we're all set. We're just going to replace the wheel bearing, plug it in back up here, so we'll do that here in a second. Alright. Let's plug this guy back in. Okay, I can see him back there. I went through the hole. Where did it go? Ow. Let's see where it went though. Okay. That's a lot. Replaced. Cookie, so welcome back. That is gonna be a wrap for this project. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you being here. It is the next day. Beautiful day outside. So we're out here just wrapping things up for you. So yeah, that was quite a project. I went ahead and test drove it last night. Everything worked out fine. So much quieter. Customer's gonna be super happy. So yeah. Hope you guys gained some good insight from that. If you got to tackle that project again, make sure you let me know in the comments if you got any suggestions for easier ways to do any of that. If you found value in this, definitely hit that like button. Would love it if you'd subscribe, especially if you're new here. I've got a lot of people that come through, check out the videos, but I do not have a whole lot of people sticking around to subscribe. So would love to have you. And again, yeah, thanks for joining us.